All right, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about the last of the tasks in the speaking section. This is the fourth integrated task, and it is the last one in the speaking section. Once again, this is one where you only listen to a file and then you speak about it. So you don't have anything to read here. As for the skills and abilities that you need for this task, they are essentially the same as all of the other speaking tasks. But the one that makes this one unique is that you really only need to be able to recognize the main idea and supporting details of a listening file. So this is something that you've already done in the reading section. When we had the main idea questions and the fact and detail questions were usually the supporting, they had to do with the supporting details. And in the listening section, you also had to recognize main idea and supporting details. So this is not anything new. Basically, you just have to comprehend what the lecture is about. And in the beginning of the lecture, they usually give you the main idea and the supporting details in what would be the first paragraph if it was a written file. And then they go on to give more information about those supporting details in what would be the next following paragraphs. So this is nothing new. You've already done this before. And then your job for this task is to then summarize the information. So in your notes, the first thing that you would write down would be the main idea. And you can even write main idea on your page and then just write what it is. Oftentimes the person will state some sort of a topic beforehand, which sounds like it could be a main idea, but then they'll say what the actual topic is today. Like they'll say something like, we've been talking about the migration of different bird species, blah, 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 blah. Today I want to talk specifically about the migration of a specific bird, something like that. So they might give you something which sounds like a main idea, but then after you hear them speak for about a minute, then they'll actually tell you what the main idea of this particular listening passage or lecture that you'll be listening to here. And then they'll follow that up with at least two supporting details. They might have a third, which seems like a third supporting detail, but usually that one will be kind of a sub detail of one of them, probably the second one. So that's really it. You have one main idea, you have at least two supporting details, and you just have to summarize the information. Now, you only have 20 seconds to prepare your statement for this. And you have 60 seconds to give your response. So as with all of the questions and the tasks in the TOEFL exam, they're really mimicking things that you have done in your life already. So you can kind of think about this as when you were younger and you come home from school and your parents say, well, tell me what you learned in school today. I don't know. Not everybody had to deal with this, but so a lot of people, their parents might say, well, what did you learn in class today? And then you have to tell them about what you learned. So this is basically the same thing as doing that. You're just summarizing the most important thing and some of the details about that. Basically, the trick with this one, or at least the main thing that you need to be able to do, is to effectively take notes. This is the main thing. And you don't have to write down everything that they say. In fact, if you have a listening passage that has lots of people's names of places, especially if those names seem like they would be very difficult to spell, you probably don't need to worry about that so much. Just do your best. You could, like, if they say the name of some place and it's really difficult to pronounce or something like that, you can just refer to the place that the lecturer was speaking about. If they give you, like, if they speak about some ancient historic site, then you could just refer to it as the site that the lecturer was speaking about. That's a good way to get around ones where they have a proper name where if it's hard to pronounce, you can just say it that way. Just describe it. That's a little bit of a tip that we'll put into the master skills. You get it here for free. But basically, this one is all about effective note taking and then being able to read from your notes. Now, you see in the examples that you don't have anything to read here. On these example pages, I just put a written form of the type of instructions that you would probably hear in your headphones. So just like with all of the other tasks, when you're listening to or when the recording is playing and they start talking about what the directions are for the task, since you will already know what the directions will be for this task, just take the time to take a few deep breaths and relax, and just be ready to start taking notes when you hear the audio file. And really, that's it. There's nothing more intricate about this. There's nothing really more that you need to say about it. Actually, I could say this. The listening file is going to be between 2 to 3 minutes. So you have to speak about a 2 or 3 minute long audio file in only 1 minute. Well, that shouldn't be too difficult because there's going to be a lot of extra things that the person says. So that's it. Just be ready to take effective notes. Make sure that you write down the main idea and the supporting details and any sort of explanations or examples that they give about those supporting details. And then as far as the strategy, if you're in the How to Answer, the TOEFL Dominator, or any of the master courses, we will go over the strategy for that. If you are in the Format course, which doesn't have the strategy, you can upgrade to any of the other courses for the price difference of the upgrade. In other words, you don't have to pay for the full course. You can just upgrade to one of the larger courses simply by paying the difference in price. And that's about it. So thank you for stopping by. This is it for the speaking section. So the next lesson that we do together, if you're in the format class, is going to be the writing section. If you are in one of the higher classes, then the next lesson that we're going to talk about is the strategy. So we will see you there. Thank you for stopping by and have an excellent day.